So as you can see, the zipper join is a nice straight join, a nice neat one, and if we turn it over, you can see the back of the work. It also gives a lovely finish. There's nothing there that's going to get caught while you're snuggled under a blanket if you use this on a blanket, or if you use it to join panels together for a tote bag. It's a nice flat join. So shall I get on and show you how to make it? So the zipper stitch join is a lovely flat join. You can see there's nowhere that's going to get caught on very much at all. And if you use a contrasting colour to join Afghan blocks like I have here for my Nordic Afghan cowl, you can see it just gives that little bit of extra interest, design element to your project. Now it's quite an easy stitch to do. If I grab my next block to show you how to put it together. Now with this join, you need to have your two pieces of work that you're joining together buffered up against each other, so you have to join these flat. With a lot of joins, you would just put them together, go through both loops. If I grab my hook, I can show you. Go through both loops on both sides, and maybe you do a single crochet join and just single crochet all the way up. But for this one, because there is a definite front and back, and to get that flat texture, we actually need to work this flat. So if I zoom in a little bit, then I'll show you how we do this. So this is my working yarn. I'm joining it in the red, and I'm just going to make a slip stitch. I'm not going to pull it tight. I'm going to leave it with a little bit give in it. Now there's a couple of things to note with this joining technique. We will always be working into the back loops from the front, which is the side that's on the top, so make sure you have your right side facing you. From the front to the back, in the back loop only. I come in. So as you look at it, you have your front loop and your back loop on the left hand side, and then you have your front loop and your back loop on the right hand side. So these two loops are effectively, if you can see that, the back loops effectively touch each other when you jut them up, and that's what we're joining, just that one and that one. So to start this project, we'll start on the left hand side if you're right-handed, and the right hand side if you're left-handed. You need to find the back loop only of that first stitch after your corner space, and insert your hook from the front to the back, so you're effectively going downwards. Remember, the front is always facing you with your work. And then in square 2 you need to do the same thing. So find that first stitch of the row, insert your hook in the back loop only from the front to the back, and then we'll take our working yarn, hook that slip stitch, and we're going to pull it through, and then we'll tighten that slip stitch up to make it easy to work, and we'll put the tail round the back out of the way. And then from here we're just effectively doing the same process all the way up the squares. So we're going to work into the back loop on square 1 from the front to the back, and then the back loop of the next stitch on square 2 from the front to the back. So we've got the 2 back loops and our working yarn on our hook. Then we're going to wrap our yarn and pull through all 3. And we'll follow that process all the way up our work. And then we'll do the same with the next stitch that's available. So insert our hook from the front to the back on the back loop, and then move over to square 2, insert our hook from the front to the back of the back loop. We'll wrap our yarn and we'll pull through all 3 loops on our hook. Now once you've done each stitch, you will want to maintain a consistent tension, so you can give it a little bit of a pull if you find it's too loose, but don't pull it too hard, because this is effectively another way of slip stitch joining, so there is not going to be any give in that at all. So if you end up with your tension too tight, your work will pucker and you'll end up with lumps and bumps in it because it's trying to squash it in. And if your work is too loose, if your tension is too loose, you'll end up with big loops that'll get caught. So working the next stitch, we'll go into that back loop, remembering to keep our working yarn behind. And then we'll go into the back loop on the next stitch of square 2. We'll wrap our yarn and we'll go through all 3 loops. And we follow that process all the way up, making sure to keep our working yarn at the back. And that is really all there is to the zipper stitch join. If you find that you think that one of your loops further down is a little bit loose and you want to go back and change that, you literally just pull on your working yarn and then insert your hook into the loop of the stitch before the one that you had an issue with. So if, say, I wanted to do this loop here again, what I would do is I'd go down 1, 2, 3 stitches, insert my hook into that loop and simply work it again. Now you will find initially, because you're working only into the back loops, that your work looks like it's pulling a little bit on the back. Don't worry about it. The yarn will make itself comfortable again and move back where it's supposed to be. I do hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today. If you have, please feel free to subscribe. Click the little bell icon to be notified of any and all tutorials that I might add to the channel over the coming weeks and months. I do hope to see you soon. Have a great day. Bye.